Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. We must continue to set the record straight, stop the lies, stop the narratives, stop them from rewriting the history. And in this video, man, we're going to talk about the WNBA, man. I see a lot of people doing videos on the WNBA, and I'm shocked because for me, who cares about the WNBA? Does any grown man really care about the WNBA? And this is no knock on women's sports, but as a grown man, as a man, I do not care about the WNBA. I could care less about how much money they're getting paid or how much money they're not getting paid or Caitlin Clark or any of these people. I don't care about them. But I see a lot of people doing videos about the WNBA and all this stuff. So I wanted to talk about it real briefly because who really cares about the WNBA? What man cares about women's basketball? Talk about this video. And I want to thank you guys, man. Everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support, man. It means a lot, guys. Like I said, the real basketball fans are standing up, man. And that's what it's about. So shout out to everybody out there. Like I said, I'm truly humbled. Much respect to all you guys out there for all the support, man. Everyone across the world, everyone across the states. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn that volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So yes, guys, like I said, man, listen, I ain't trying to throw no shade on the women's sports or women in general, man. You know, great for them that they have a WNBA. But I see everyone making these WNBA videos about Caitlin Clark and some of these other players. Angel Reese, I think her name's. I don't even know these people. I don't know the names. I don't know them because I don't care. I do not care about women's basketball. And that is no disrespect to them. I just don't give a damn about the WNBA. I could care less. Like I said, if it went away, I wouldn't care. I don't care how much money they're getting paid, how much they're not getting paid. I don't care about these things. And I find it very odd that men are actually making videos and were commenting on WNBA because when I was growing up, guys, women's sports, guys didn't pay attention to women's sports. We did not pay attention to these things. And even to this day, I don't watch women's sports. The only women's sports that I would maybe watch, maybe like a World Cup soccer. I would watch women's World Cup soccer. I'll watch beach volleyball. I'll watch women play beach volleyball. I'll watch women's tennis. Something like that maybe. But for me, I don't care about the WNBA. To me, basketball's a man's sport, right? And once again, there's no shade on women. I'm glad that they have their own league. They deserve their own league, no doubt. But I don't care about it. And I don't know why men care about the WNBA. Like, you see a lot of NBA players now. They feel the need to support the WNBA because they're their sisters, right? They're basketball sisters. So you see a lot of these NBA players coming out now supporting the WNBA players. And that's all great. The problem is the WNBA is whack. The WNBA is women's basketball. So it's only going to be it's only going to reach a certain height. It's never going to be the NBA. It's never going to be men's sports. Women's sports are never going to be men's sports. That's just the way it goes in society. When you think about a sport, then you think about men competing in a sport. That's the most popular version of sports. It's men's sports, man. That's just the facts, guys. Right? No one's watching women's softball. No, they watch baseball. No one's watching the WNBA. They're watching the NBA, men's basketball, right? When we think about fighting, for example, let's think about boxing. Do you want to watch two women box? I don't want to watch two women hit each other and beat each other up. I don't want to see this nonsense. Same thing with UFC. And this is no disrespect. Once again, I'm not tearing down women saying they're not athletes or that women shouldn't be playing sports. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is I don't care. As a man, I'm more concerned about the men's sports. The women can root for the women. As far as I'm concerned, I do not care about WNBA or any of these women's sports. I don't care about it. I don't watch it. I don't watch softball. I don't watch WNBA. I don't watch soccer. I don't watch, volleyball. I don't watch these things. I told you I would watch volleyball. If it was in the Olympics and you got the sand beach volleyball, I'll watch that. Like I said, if you have the World Cup women's soccer, I will watch that. Right? I will definitely watch that stuff. They're competitive with that kinds of things. But I'm not watching the WNBA, guys. And once again, this is not to say that the women don't have skills or they can't play basketball or any of that stuff. They are skilled and they know how to play the game. Except I don't want to watch them play. I don't want to watch women play basketball. I'd rather watch the men play basketball. To me, that's more exciting, even though this era of NBA might be closer to the WNBA than it's ever been. But I would rather watch the men compete, the men go back and forth, not the women, man. So when I see a lot of people making videos about Caitlin Clark right now, it's a big thing. People talking about Caitlin Clark because she's getting so much hype, so much attention, and now people are trying to make it racial. They're trying to make it seem as if it's a black versus a white thing, right? A female thing. And for me, this is where things start getting messy. Things start getting out of hand. We start going off the rails. Like with the women asking for more money. This is where things go off the rails. This is where you lose someone like me. I don't want to hear about women complaining about how much money they're not getting paid versus the men. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Because once again, the women try to make it about sexes. They try to make it about a man versus a woman, and they try to make it that simple. It's not that simple. You're not getting paid as much as the men because no one cares about your sport. That's the facts. Those are the cold, hard reality for women, the WNBA. No one's watching this, not like the NBA. You're never going to make the money like the NBA player, like the NBA makes in the WNBA. Because let's be real, the NBA is supporting the WNBA. Without the NBA, the WNBA would have disbanded years ago. Years ago. The NBA is keeping the WNBA afloat. And I have no problem with that because it's great for the women to have a league. So I'm on board with this. The women need to have a league. They deserve to have their own league. The problem is when they start complaining about the money and things being quote unquote fair. This is where you lose me because you're never going to be fair. It's never going to be equal to the men because you're not the NBA. No one's ever going to get that kind of money and going to watch the WNBA. It's never going to happen. Women's sports will never be equal to men's sports as far as people watching the sport, people paying attention to the sport, money going into that sport. It's never going to be on the same level. It just won't, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the facts. That's the reality of sports in the world. In the world. The men's sports are always going to be more popular, always going to get more money than women's sports. Those are the facts, guys. So for me, when I hear people talking about Caitlin Clark and some of the beef with some of these other WNBA players and people are jealous and they're envious, it's a joke because I don't care. No one cares about the WNBA. It's really not a big thing. The women make the money they make and they should be happy that they have a league. See, once again, people are entitled. And they believe they deserve more money, and maybe they do deserve more money, but the facts remain. If your league is not making the money, then how the hell are you supposed to get paid that money? They want all this money, but the league's not making the money, right? They want to be paid like the NBA players or on par with the NBA guys, even though their league makes a fraction of what the NBA brings in. You see how that doesn't sound right? It doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And that's the reality for women in sports in general, right? It's just never going to be on par with the men, right? I mean, let's think about the NFL, for example, right? Football, American football. Would you want to watch a bunch of women in pads and helmets going around banging into each other? No, who wants to watch that nonsense? That's not football, right? What did they have for women? They had the lingerie league. That's what they had for women, the lingerie league. But I think they got rid of the lingerie league because probably it was too sexist all of a sudden now. But people were watching that. People would tune into that. Why? Because people would rather see women run around in skimpy outfits. That's the facts of the world. That's the reality, right? Women are known for being beautiful, right? The feminine body is known for being something of beauty, right? Of art. So for people to look at. So when we're talking about a lingerie league, then people would watch that. No one's going to watch a bunch of women in helmets, shoulder pads, and pads in their legs and all that stuff running around tackling each other. That's whack to me. That's not exciting. Who wants to watch a 110-pound woman getting tackled by a 90-pound woman? Does that seem like excitement to you? Not at all. So once again, these leagues are never going to be on par with the men's sports. Like I said, look at baseball versus softball. And women's softball is a great sport. But once again, it'll never be Major League Baseball. It'll never be baseball. It just won't be that. And the WNBA will never be the NBA. It'll never be the Premier League. It'll never be that. It won't be a league where they're bringing in millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars. It will never be there because no one cares about the WNBA. No one cares about women's sports. And once again, I'm not saying this as a negative, like they're not athletes or they're not great or none of that stuff. We're talking about in generalities. Grown men do not watch women's sports. They don't. I never watched women's sports. Do you guys watch women's sports? I've never watched a WNBA game in my life, and I never would. And that's not because I think they're garbage. I'm not watching women play basketball. I'm not. To me, why would I watch that when I can watch the men? And like I said, even though in this era, they're closer to WNBA than we've ever been, they're very soft and feminine, these fools. But at the same time, it's still men's basketball. So, for me, Caitlin Clark, don't care about her. She means nothing. She's irrelevant to me. And I see a lot of people doing videos on her. Maybe she's a bust. Maybe she's not. But once again, who cares about Caitlin Clark? Who cares about Angel Reese or any of these people? No one cares. No man really cares about any of these people. Do you have posters of Rebecca Lobo on your wall? Did you have posters of Cheryl Swoops on your wall or Lisa Leslie or Shamika Holsclaw? No, you didn't have these people on your walls, right? I had Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. These are the people that I had hanging on my wall, right? I had no women's sports. I didn't have a poster of Billie Jean King, the tennis player, on my wall. I did not. I know these people are because I'm a fan of sports, but at the same time, I am not watching women's sports. To me, that does not appeal to me. It doesn't. So I don't understand all this enamored or all this stuff lately with the WNBA. The WNBA is never going to be the NBA. I'm not watching the WNBA. I could care less about Caitlin Clark or any of these other women. And once again, this is no disrespect to their league. I'm not saying they're garbage basketball players. I'm not saying I can go in the WNBA and dominate them. What I'm saying to you is that to me, a grown man, I have no interest whatsoever to watch women run up and down a basketball court. No interest in that. To me, that's not something I want to watch. Now, are there people who want to watch that? Absolutely. And by all means, enjoy. But to me, most grown men are not watching the WNBA, guys. You're not. So I don't understand all this stuff with the WNBA and how much they're not getting paid or how much they're getting paid. The league is a joke compared to the NBA as far as the revenue it brings in. So they can't justify them crying for all this money. The product is not the same. And they think that they're the same. See, the women really believe that they're on par with the NBA players. Once again, they're delusional, these people, right? Focus on the money, not focus on the actual game itself and improving upon that game. Remember, the NBA, these guys weren't always getting paid millions of dollars. The NBA, these guys were plumbers. Remember, they were plumbers and taxi cab drivers back in the day. These guys fought in wars, right? Some of these guys back in the day, they weren't getting paid all this money. But what happened? Over the years and years and years, the product has become better and better and better. The sport has brought in more attention, right? Guys like Michael Jordan bringing it global. So now you're bringing all the revenue from overseas. This is what the guys have done in the NBA's history. This is why these guys are so entitled now, because of all the guys who came before them that laid out the foundation for them to get this kind of money. And now they've disrespected those past players, and they've squandered this now, and they've abused it, and this is why they've lost the respect. But that's why they get the money. It's from the years and years of guys in the NBA putting that show out there on the court, like I said, playing with that love of the game, showing up to work, and making the game popular. The players did that, and the fans came to watch them play. That's not going on in the WNBA. It hasn't been around anywhere near as long as the NBA. And once again, the WNBA has to earn their respect. They have to earn that money, right? They have to show and prove, man. And for me, the WNBA means nothing, guys. And the players who play in the WNBA, the Caitlin Clarks, all these other girls, these ladies, these women, like I said, man, great for them. I'm glad they have a league that they could become professional basketball players. So like I said, so they have a league to go to. But I don't want to hear about how much money you're not getting paid. I don't want to hear about any of this stuff, man, because no one cares about your league. And the WNBA is never going to be like the NBA. You're never going to be on par with men's sports in general, all across the board, man. Like I said, if you want to watch women's tennis, that's great. You want to watch, like I said, volleyball or women's soccer, by all means, enjoy that. It's never going to be men's sports. Women's sports will never be on par with men's sports. And that's not a sexist thing. That's not any hatred. Those are the facts. That's just the facts. Just the facts. So I don't care about the WNBA. I don't know any grown men that care about the WNBA. Why do they care? We should be more concerned with the NBA and what's going on with the NBA. I don't give a damn about the WNBA and what they got going on over there, man. Because once again, man, I'm a man and I don't care about women's sports. You guys know what to do on this channel, man. There's no shit at women, man. No shit to women's sports. Like I said, I'm not saying they should break the WNBA up. It shouldn't even be around and women shouldn't be allowed to play sports. No. That's not what we're talking about here. What I'm saying to you, as a grown man that grew up playing sports his whole life, football, basketball, and baseball, I'll never watch women's sports. I just won't. It's not that I am against it. It don't appeal to me. Those are the facts, guys. And I feel like most grown men, most men who play sports their whole lives, they don't want to watch women. Those are the facts. And I'm not watching the WNBA, guys. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.